Hello and Merry Christmas. Welcome to Mouse Cheers.
Cheers.
Our brother Josh is on the podcast today, and we're like, should we give him the rundown? And we're like, no.
We did not. So we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. And then Paul's back. Paul, the Christmas guy, is back.
We're in the same sweater as a couple weeks ago.
Andrew too. We both decided to wear the same sweater.
You know, joy to the underworld.
And I like the sweater.
Well, we wore him for Thanksgiving. And
you bought me this sweater.
Did I?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We wore him for Thanksgiving. Wear him again for Christmas.
Well, there we go.
Josh.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome.
Thanks.
So he hasn't seen any episodes of Mouse Cheers.
Put it close to your mouth when you talk.
Got it.
Yeah, it's fine. Was it not close to your mouth?
Yeah, I couldn't hear him.
Should we make it more hot? Give it a little gain.
No. What I'm hearing
Good.
is what the audience is going to hear. What Paul's hearing is like going through the mixer.
Oh.
So like I'm hearing the real thing. So unless I say something, don't listen to Paul.
Yeah, you're
All right,
fine.
let's start over. Cheers.
Cheers. So, Josh hasn't seen an episode of Mouse Cheers. I guess he tried to look for us, but he didn't type in Mouse Cheers. He typed in, like, John.
I typed in John Carpentier.
Yeah, and it didn't come.
I found Rent videos.
Videos from Rent.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It looks like we're on a ride. It looks like we're Space Mountain or
So
something.
just real quick, one of my favorite photos of us at Disney, we took a guys trip and it was the four of us and we went to Disney. It was Space Mountain, and I think John rode with a stranger, and it was me, you, Josh. Do you remember this picture?
Oh, he was.
If I had to guess, I'd be sitting in the front because I always sit in the front.
You were doing
Shoe
shoe phone.
always.
Josh had his shirt up over his head, and I was doing one of those.
I do remember the shirt.
What
Yeah.
was I doing?
You were with a stranger in another cart, and I forgot. You probably did something with the stranger, like point at him or something.
Oh.
John is notorious for doing something with a stranger whenever he's on a ride with someone.
Yeah, like acting like I'm their buddy or something.
Yeah, very funny.
The Everest one, I remember that.
Yeah. I think I told that story.
Well, I was on it with
I
you. I was just,
Oh, okay,
I was
okay.
a few because we did the single rider, so I was like 10 carts ahead of you.
Oh, okay.
But we were on the same track, so when we got off, he goes, "You got to see this picture." And I walk over, and it's John with his arm around some guy, smiling, big up, like. And he's like, "Oh, I told him." I'm like, "Let's pretend to be buddies. It'll be funny."
Yeah. He's like,
So if you're watching this,
yeah. He's like that you have experience like with the strangers. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, Everest. I'm like, yeah, I told the story. And then he's like, all right. And then he
you told
the
it on
story.
here.
Yeah, I told it on here.
oh, I thought you meant you told it to us.
No, I feel I told it on here.
Well, now I feel bad, but that's all right.
You should.
We know how it is. There's always more viewers on my episodes, so they'll see.
Right. Well, this is going to be the Christmas episode. Am I correct? So, I'd like to talk about just a roller coaster of a trilogy. A roller coaster of a trilogy. The Santa Clause.
Is it a roller coaster? It's more like it goes up, and then it goes, and then it goes down.
Sounds like a roller coaster to me.
The way I picture it is, it's like it's here. And then it just drops. I don't think it's like up. I think it starts up and then just drops.
Well, that's fair enough. I guess you could say starts up,
So, have you seen the Santa Clauses on Disney Plus? You saw the first 2 episodes?
I have seen the first 2. I've seen them, full out without, people talking around.
Same. I've seen the first 2. Not a fan.
I wasn't against it. And I'm going to try really hard to, because I get passionate about the subject, so I'm going to try to stay back and let everyone talk, because I know, I'll take over if I start talking about Santa Claus. But I'll just say that, I'll keep it light, that I thought it was kind of like Santa Claus 2. Good moments, bad moments.
Right. Dude, when we were watching Santa Claus 2 earlier, I don't know, we'll get into it.
We'll get into 2.
But, Josh, have you seen the Santa Clauses?
No.
There's 2 episodes now, and I guess it's releasing weekly on Disney Plus. Do you know how many they're going to be?
Yeah. I think they're Wednesdays.
No, yeah. Do you know how many there will be?
Oh no, it's Fridays because it just came out on the 17th. There'll be 6.
Oh, Disney Plus kind of does that, huh? They're like, oh, here's a season. It's 6 episodes.
Yeah,
They do that.
I will say in their defense, the shows that they've done that have been longer in terms of stuff like Marvel and stuff have not been as good as the shorter ones. Make more sense. And they came out and they said, not to make this a Marvel thing, but they came out and they said that moving forward, they're gonna do more like Werewolf by Night, limited 1 hour
Special
specials,
presentations.
these types of things. Like I think when you try to elongate it, that's when it gets a little too much.
Okay.
I mean, again, we can talk about another pod, but just really off the top of my head, I think there's a few filler episodes of Loki, whereas you could have cut those out and the show would have been much better. I think WandaVision, it was 9 episodes and it could have been probably 6 or 5.
I think Marvel was dead after Endgame.
You watched Spider-Man. Don't talk anymore.
I've seen select things.
We could branch off into Marvel easily. Let's
But
go
who?
around. I'm curious about people's favorite Christmas movies, though. So let's take our turns and say, I don't know if you guys have thought about an actual number.
Well, I know my number one. It's been the same for 15, 20 years now.
But I know you usually say, hey, in no order particular.
Well, yeah, but I know my number one. My number one's never changed.
All right. So I'll go first. No, Josh, go first because we'll go down. I feel I have the same top 5 as you.
John's like, I need some time to think.
No. I feel like I have the same top 5.
So in no specific order, I like the Santa Clause, just the first one. I like Home Alone 1 and 2, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I like Die Hard, Bad Santa,
Okay.
and Christmas Vacation.
Die Hard's not a Christmas
I think
movie.
those are great choices. Yeah, it is, Andrew. We are not going to... No one's going to indulge you on your nonsensical...
You
concept.
people are garbage.
You're nonsensical.
I said it.
Why are we got what? Why?
You're garbage,
He doesn't
too.
think Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
It's not.
This is literally the easiest debate I've ever had in my life.
I don't think
Takes place on Christmas. It's more of a Christmas movie than It's a Wonderful Life. You know what? It's a Wonderful Life is 2.5 hours. You know how much of that movie takes place on Christmas?
Oh, you agree.
5 minutes of that movie is Christmas. You know how much of Die Hard is Christmas? The entire film takes place on Christmas Eve. It plays Christmas songs throughout the...
Wow.
The entire score
Wow.
is a... I don't know music well, but it's like a minor... It's a minor key version of...
I was hoping he'd say so. It was diminished.
What's the song that's dun, 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 dun,
Oh, the
dun,
song
dun,
that's
dun, 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 dun. Is that
Yeah. The one that's in E minor?
I don't know.
whatever that song is? It's like
Ode to Joy.
thank you. It's Ode to Joy, but it's like a
Uncultured.
it's like a minor version of Ode to Joy, just playing. It's like wow, wow, wow. Like the background of the entire movie is Ode to Joy.
Oh, wow.
The movie's a Christmas movie.
Wow.
It's like literally a Christmas movie.
Okay.
There's a Christmas scene in Harry Potter.
Does that make Harry Potter a
Well,
Christmas movie?
it doesn't, but people play it all the time at Christmas.
Harry Potter is a Christmas movie by
People
your
play it all
definition.
the time on Christmas. Where did that comment come from?
They play it on ABC Family during
Harry
their
Potter,
25,
the first Harry
Nights
Potter
of Christmas.
is a Christmas movie in the eyes of whoever.
Happy Christmas, Harry.
It is. It's
As a big Harry Potter fan,
it's
the
as
biggest.
much of a Christmas movie as It's a Wonderful Life.
John, I'm sorry.
What?
Paul,
What?
as the biggest Harry Potter fan, even I will say Harry Potter is not a Christmas movie.
Andrew is the hairiest.
I don't think it's a Christmas movie, but it's a movie you can watch on Christmas.
Of all the Harry Potter fans, Andrew's the hairiest.
Yeah. Oh man, Harry Potter 9 is by far my favorite.
Set me up.
Harry Potter 9.
Harry Potter 9, The Woman in Black.
And then there's
Ridiculous. Now,
Our fans are like, what are these inside jokes we have no idea about?
yeah, no. Set me up with anyone, any kind of trivia, any day. Will roast you. Roast.
In Harry Potter, right?
In Harry Potter, but
Yeah.
I'm also very educated in all subjects.
Yeah, you ain't roasting me in any movie trivia, that's for sure.
Debatable.
You'll keep up. You ain't roasting me in anything.
I'll
Like-
roast you right
like
now.
if it's like out of 100,
Right now.
I'll score a 97.
John,
good.
You'll score
Right
a
now, let's do it.
72.
Movie question, John.
No.
Quick.
No, I'm not doing it. I'm not entertaining it.
Oh. You were about to get roasted.
You would never
Okay,
roast
movie
me.
trivia. Just a random.
Random. Really quick.
Oh, why are we
First one dance. Oh, why you scared?
Well, I don't like.
You scared?
I don't.
Paul's
I don't
scared.
have-
Don't do it. Don't do it. Paul's scared.
No, I don't have fast. What's that word?
Excuses. It's excuses.
What's that word that's like
The word is
reflexes.
excuses. The word
Right?
is
I
excuses.
don't have the reflexes right now.
The word is excuses. Please, John.
Well, John's movie knowledge is limited, so I don't trust his questions.
Do you have a question?
No.
Do you have a movie question, Josh?
For Paul?
Yeah.
For
No,
us.
apparently it's for
like
both
one
of them.
for that if they want to prove a point.
It's like a trivia
Oh.
thing.
Paul, what was the first movie to have black and white scenes and color scenes?
Wizard of Oz. Roll the taste rack. I think it was me.
Hold on. Piggybacking off of that, what was the first Disney movie to have both black and white and color scenes?
Mary Poppins.
Is that the answer?
No.
I didn't think so.
Wait.
It was embarrassing.
Hold on. I thought it was.
You know what?
it's-
I'm thinking of animation and live action.
There is no black and white in
Yeah.
Mary Poppins.
You know what?
I'm like, what's he talking
I'm
about?
thinking of animation and live action. My bad.
Yeah, I was like, what is he talking about? I was like,
My bad. John,
I honestly don't even know.
John's asking questions.
I'm
he
trying to-
doesn't
I'm
even
trying to
know.
think.
Look at him. Look at him.
Wait, is there not even one, John?
I was thinking of live action animation too.
So
Which
we can agree. I
which
got it
Mary
right now.
Poppins is.
It's
not
Bed
the
Knobs and
answer.
Broomsticks.
No, it's not. It's Song of the South.
Oh, okay. I just throwing something out. I'm like, I
So
don't know.
for some reason, I thought that Song of the South was in black and white.
Is that the one you were thinking of? No, you were thinking of Mary Poppins,
I
weren't you?
was thinking of
Oh,
Song of
okay.
the South.
So the Santa Claus. Oh wait, no, I'm
No,
sorry.
the
We-
top
No, we're going
five-
through our top fives.
Top 5 holiday.
So my favorite Christmas movie.
Well, hold on, Joshua. You listed like 7.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's fine.
Narrow it down. Like,
we said top 5.
what's your top like? No, what's your top like 3?
Core 3. That's tough.
What's your core 3?
Core 3.
What's a C3?
C3PO?
It's tough because I watch like all of them every December.
Like,
Yeah, but
you have
what's
to
the
let
one
it
you
pay.
can't
The rest
miss?
of the world.
The 3. If someone was like, hey, you only have time. Christmas is short this year.
Or
Christmas is
Fire,
short.
and you can only save 3 Christmas movies.
There's a fire.
What are the 3?
How the Grinch Stole Christmas,
Valid. Jim Carrey version, by the way. That's what he's talking about. I know.
Home Alone,
I'll take it.
and
Uh-oh.
He's gonna say Die Hard.
I'll wait until he answers. But he's about to get roasted.
He's going to get roasted.
Yeah.
say the Santa Claus.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I was worried.
I was about to say
He
that
was
was your
thinking
number.
so
yeah.
hard for a second.
That
I
was
was
your
like,
number
you're gonna
one
say
for a
Die
little while.
I was like, he's about to get thrown
He's
out.
gonna
of
get
this-
roasted.
saved
Is
Die Hard.
what's gonna happen.
No, I almost said
Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
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 Well, if see, and the thing is with like Home Alone 1 and 2, they're both like right up there. But yeah, if I had to save one, obviously Home Alone 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
What's-
talked about this earlier. I think it was just you and me. Home Alone 2 is great, and when I was young, I loved it, and I still do. I still love Home Alone 2. But if you watch,
I wasn't sure if it was stretchy.
if you watch Home Alone 1 directly into Home Alone 2, I call it the Back to the Future effect. Because if you watch Back to the Future 1 and 2, when I was a kid, Back to the Future 2 was my favorite one. Then I watched them both in a row, and I realized how worse Back to the Future 2 really is.
Same with the Austin Power movie.
Same thing. I used to love the second Austin Powers. So you
Yeah.
watch the first and second in a row. And you realize how diminished the quality is.
It's clearly better of a movie.
Home Alone 1 and 2 is same thing. Home Alone 2 by itself, it's an awesome movie to watch. Tim Curry's great in it. I love the Pigeon Lady.
Cheers to Tim Curry.
Cheers to Tim Curry.
Cheers to the Pigeon Lady.
Cheers to the Pigeon Lady. The movie's great. It's fun. The traps are awesome. But I challenge you, if you've never done this, watch them in a row and come back and tell me. I would love to hear someone say this isn't true, but I can't unsee it now. The quality difference between the two. It's literally the second movie is just repeating the same jokes, which we knew. But when you watch them in a row, it's almost like, I just heard this. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it does take a little away from it. And if you don't want that to be taken away, don't do it. But if you want to see that effect, the first movie is awesome. Home Alone is by far my top 3. If I'm giving you my top 3 right now, it's the Santa Claus is by far my favorite Christmas movie of all time. It'll never change. I love that movie. I watch it. I told Andrew earlier, I watch it. It ends, and I will start it back over. I'll watch it twice in a row. It's the only movie like ever I'll do that with. Home Alone 1. And I listen to a lot of these movies for the music, so I love the music to Home Alone 1. Just like, I mean, it's the same in Home Alone 2, but obviously...
John Williams.
John Williams, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible. 3 is tough, because when we're doing a top 5, easy peasy.
You say the top 5, but give you that core 3 after.
Okay, so well, the top 5, so now I'm not going to do any order. I said those 2 are obviously like my 1 and 2. And then with no particular order, it would be The Grinch with Jim Carrey. It would be Christmas Vacation. And then, what's 1, 2, 3... And then one more, so Grinch Vacation. And then the 4th would be... It's going to be Miracle on 34th Street. The classic. The black and white 32, I think, around.
What about the 5th?
That was 5. I said the 4th, but that was 5, right? I said 5.
You said 4th.
I know, I think I made a mistake saying 4th, but it was Santa Clause, Home Alone, Grinch, Christmas Vacation, Miracle.
He said Miracle. What about your core 3?
Core 3 is so tough.
C3.
So obviously Home Alone and Santa Claus, and I think it's so close. It's between the Grinch and Christmas Vacation.
Oh, okay.
It's between the Grinch and Christmas Vacation, but I'm going to go with which one makes me feel more, which is the Grinch. So that's the one that I have more sentimental value with, because I just like I know how I like to watch that movie mostly by myself. I turn the lights off. I pop it on. I always eat Chinese food when I watch it. It's just like a weird tradition I have, and it's just my movie. And then obviously, the rest I love, but those are probably my core 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't love the Grinch.
Yeah, you said that earlier. I don't know why.
I don't think it makes my top 5, top 10, definitely.
Anthony Hopkins narrating, amazing. Jim Carrey, the Grinch, amazing.
The color palette in the movie is a little
The
bland.
color palette I love. It was
I thought it was bland.
It was the first movie I watched in my home theater. When I set up the movie theater, that was the first thing I put on the projector.
Cool. Respect.
And I put it on because I liked the color palette of it. So I don't know, we definitely differ there. I love the color palette of that. It's fantasy. Like, I'm a kid at heart, so when I'm looking at the movies I like, it's the ones that make me feel like a kid.
Yeah, no, I got it. I when I think of the Grinch, Jim Carrey's The Grinch, I don't think colorful for some reason.
I don't know, when I think of that first scene, when it's like the snowflakes coming down, it's got that beautiful blue background color, and the snow's coming down, and I've always seen it as like a colorful movie.
Okay.
It's not bright.
Right.
It's not bright. And maybe my color blindness affects this too, but like what I see...
It definitely does. And here's the thing. I think you guys are focusing on an odd aspect of the movie. It's not colorful, huh? What are you guys talking about? The problem isn't with the color, guys. The problem lies within the movie itself. Big fan of the movie, don't get me wrong. Big fan. Top 10, definitely. Maybe even number 6, but not top 5. Not top.
I mean, number 6 is good. Everyone's gonna have a different. What's your top 5 then?
Let me give you the
Let's
rundown.
segue into your top 5.
Let me give you the rundown. Santa Claus,
Of course, it's got to be number 1.
of course. We got Home Alone,
Beautiful,
Christmas Vacation,
love it.
big time fan. We got Bad Santa.
I'll take it.
This one might be a little controversial. Polar Express.
No, I know we talked. I know because we keep saying we talked earlier, but I love Polar Express. I love Polar Express. Love it.
This topic was born out of a conversation earlier.
Yeah. And I
don't like Polar Express.
I do, and again, for the music. Now, the movie itself's good, and obviously it's funny to look back now because they have that crazy, terrible CGI from back in the day. That's kind of funny to laugh at.
The songs suck.
But, no, not the songs. It's that background theme that plays that sounds almost identical to the theme that plays in Elf, and I love Elf, too.
Don't like
It's
Elf.
it's a... I hate singing on this thing, but it's like the one that's like...
Dreaming.
Well, now I'm doing Elf. I can never figure out the two.
Try it.
One is like Josh Groban. It's like dreaming.
If you just believe. That song?
I can never. Am I doing Elf or am I doing Polar Express now? That's Elf.
Sounds like Green
You
Day.
start... What you do is you start with
With Polar Express and I end up
then
doing
you
Elf.
And you end with Elf.
The Elf one is so good.
Which is a problem. It's
How does Polar Express go?
So you got the
It's like
yeah. And then it goes
Oh,
to
yeah.
if you just
So it doesn't do it twice. That's where I mess up, right? It's like da da da
yeah.
da da da. I don't know.
And you are right when you say the Green Day song.
Yeah.
But what's your top 5?
Before I get into my top 5, what's your core 3?
Yeah. Did he even give 5? Yeah, he gave 5.
I gave 5 in the core 3. I gave them in order. The core 3 are what I said.
Oh, okay.
So it was Santa Claus, Home Alone, Bad Santa? Was that the third one?
Nope. It was Christmas Vacation.
Oh, okay. I think very close to mine. That's my 1, 2, 4.
All of our lists are very similar. I think
Because we know our Christmas.
Home Alone is my 1.
Interesting. Okay.
Then I go the Santa Claus 2. No, not the Santa Claus 2.
He goes to Santa
But
Claus 2.
second is the Santa Claus, and then Home Alone 2, and then Bad Santa, and then Christmas Vacation. Christmas Vacation is 5. That is in order.
Well, at least we can agree on one thing. John's list was by far the worst.
John's list was by far the worst, and here's
Like, no disrespect on Home Alone 2, but that was in your core 3. That's
Yes.
a weird place for that to be. So he went Home Alone, Santa Claus, Home Alone 2.
it's just
I don't think
when
that's crazy.
it's just when
That's
it
a little
comes
cray-cray.
it's just when it comes to the other Christmas
You basically
movies.
said, that'd be like saying if I was choosing colors, and I was like, red's my favorite, then blue, and then dark red. It's like the same movie.
No.
Home Alone 1 and 2 are the same. They're literally the same plot.
Well,
But in New
you know,
York.
yeah. Well, you know,
Oh, no. It's like late, so Paul's going to laugh.
and you lost people with your color example.
No, that was a great example. Red and dark red. It's the same.
You don't even
movie.
Right.
Josh, are you already juiced?
Yes.
Is Josh in the video?
How juiced are you? Because
Comfortably.
okay, you started early.
Did you sober up?
Earlier, you were like, "I can't drive for an hour."
Yeah.
All right, Josh. Pop quiz now. Ready? What song is this from? Now
This is tricky because it could be one of two.
All 4 points.
This is tricky.
Polar Elf.
Dude, it's Elf. Come on, man. Music.
Oh, I would have guessed Polar Express.
Would you really? No, you wouldn't. How do you know the
I
difference?
would have
Yeah.
actually guessed Polar Express.
I think it's you that's done messing it up.
No, that is Elf. That one's clearly the na 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 something like that. That's Elf.
Sure.
I can't figure out how to do the Polar Express one. I can never
No,
figure it out.
No. I'm not
You
gonna,
did it. You did it
I'm
right
not,
earlier.
I'm not going to entertain this anymore.
Let's do it one more time. Do it for me.
Okay. No, I'm not going to
Do it. Do it, Andrew. Do it.
Hey, Andrew,
Come on. Let
Yes,
him do
John.
do it.
Well, now I'm afraid I'm not going to.
it. No, but you did it right last
Do
time.
it.
Well, yeah, but now I don't know. Now
If you
I'm
don't
under
do it
this
right, we'll
immense
just cut it out.
pressure.
Yeah, well, I'll cut it out.
All right.
That's it. Yeah, it's the same first 4 notes. It drives me nuts. Na, na,
Is that Polar
na,
Express?
na,
Yeah. And
na,
then
na,
and
na,
then
na, na,
and
na.
then
Got it.
and
Finally.
then Elf is
Na, 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 na.
and then Home Alone is na, 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 na.
Yeah. Oh my god, so funny. This is like no one's gonna watch this episode. They're like, why are we humming music?
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
So, I want to the
Tiny
thing,
Tim.
The thing that makes the Santa Claus 1 so good, and Paul called it a
What did I call it?
Paul called it a drama earlier. It's not
Straight-
a drama.
No, it's
Straight
just more
drama.
dramatic than it's not a slapstick comedy.
Yeah, it just means that it's a well balanced movie where you have a good comedy with depth and both the funny and the serious moments. So it's not just a silly movie like the Santa Clause 2 or my God, the Santa Clause 3.
You've never seen it, John. You're not allowed to speak on that
Now,
terrible
listen,
film.
I've never seen 2 or 3. I've seen 2
Today.
When the time comes, say, speak on it. John, you're not allowed to.
Speak on it. Was that the time?
I am allowed.
That's pretty good.
I'm allowed to speak on it because
Hey, Josh. When the time comes, say, speak on it.
I saw what was necessary.
Well, you ain't allowed to.
Speak on it.
Josh, put a little more emotion into your performance. Like this.
He's like,
Speak
nah.
on it.
Here's the thing. We all agree that the Santa Claus is in our top 5 favorite movies, and we've even talked about the Santa Claus with you on the podcast.
3 of us said it was in our first.
So here's the thing, though. So the real thing we have to talk about is the Santa Claus 2 and 3. Let's start with 2.
Oh, whoa.
Whoa, did we get John's core 3?
We gotta
Oh,
do
did,
this.
yeah.
We gotta do the trilogy right. Like, I wanna go through the first. I wanna go through the second. You know.
Andrew and I have some experience talking about the first movie.
You know what? If you want to start with the second, fine. I have some things to say, but I'd like to go back to the first at some point.
I think to
Okay,
talk.
well then let's talk about the first.
I was gonna say I think to talk about the second one, you have to talk about together. So you can skip the first because in talking about the good elements of the second one, you're just gonna reference the first. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I don't know who wants to go first. I have a lot to say. So
We'll
I don't,
start with the.
Yeah.
We'll start with part 2.
So I'll hold off because I'll jump in. I have a lot to say about this one.
So I think out of the 4 of us, I'm the one who likes it the most.
You're the only one.
Can I correct?
I
Yeah.
don't mind it.
I think of the 4 of us, you're the only one who likes it.
I don't love it. It's watchable. So I'll watch it.
Do you like it, Josh?
No.
I think that
Right.
the whole thing is that the North Pole scenes are so clearly a backdrop, and then you guys say that the scenes that are not at the North Pole are like so good. But then every time I like pop in and watch something, it's like real stupid.
John.
You're like, no, John, you just missed a really
you're-
good scene.
Okay,
Yeah,
you-
yeah,
you-
go.
wait,
We're
wait,
going off the
Here's
rails
the
here.
thing. First of all, you look at weird things in movies. This is going back to what you said about the color and the Grinch, the backdrop. Huh? What are you talking about? Okay, and now
Am I talking
let's
about
talk.
backdrop?
And no. And now let's talk about how mistaken you are because we watched it tonight. And you were in and out. That's not how you watch a movie. That is not how you watch
You know when
a
he was
movie.
in? He was in during the North Pole, and he was out during the.
You were watching during the worst parts. You were doing God knows what during the best
I
parts.
was saying that I was being transparent in saying that I didn't see it all. I was in and out, but every time I popped in, which was a decent amount of time, I saw a decent amount. I saw like 80% of the movie, and I guess 80% is in the North Pole, and the other 20% is like amazing. Apparently,
That's it.
Here's the thing.
I'm jumping in. I was biting my tongue. I'm jumping in. I'm
Jump in.
jumping in. I'm
Jump
jumping
in.
in.
He's
You
jumping.
know how I feel about this subject. I know you love the movie. Oh my god, they should have just let me write the movie. Okay, Santa Claus 2. Great scenes in the real world. I'm
You
gonna
see
call
what
it the
you
real
did?
world. Great scenes.
This is your fault.
Great scenes in the real world. Great scenes. The moments with him falling in love with Carol are awesome. The sleigh ride, which you didn't see because you were cleaning pants, or you weren't even really doing.
You didn't see
It
it.
seemed like it was getting messier in that room, but those scenes are fantastic. The scene, Andrew's favorite scene, is the
Secret
the
Santa.
party. Yeah, the Secret Santa at the work party. Great scene. Every single scene in the North Pole, and it doesn't have to do with the backdrop. I mean, I do notice that. Trust me, I notice that too. But it's not that. It's the fact that the North Pole scenes are all slapstick comedy to the point where even Bernard decided he was going to create a new walk. Like, I don't know, he gets a script and he's like, should I walk funny now? Like, he walked normal before and now he's got to waddle. Like, I just don't get it. Like, what were they doing when they got the script? They're like, you know, it'd be funny? Let me waddle a bit. Like, why not? I'm Bernard. I waddle. Bernard was like the most serious character in the first movie, and I know you said you didn't like that about him. I don't know. I love Bernard; he's my favorite character.
He was
in the first movie. He was serious. He was like, remember, like Like
He was hating hard.
when I was going to say Tim Allen, but remember when Scott Calvin was like, well, what if I don't want to do this? What if I say no? And he's like, well, there'll be a lot of little boys and he does that like really serious moment. Like Bernard was great; he was serious. In the second one, he's just always so over the top. Like I know I'm going off. I'm just, like frustrated with this stupid movie. He's always over the top. Like Santa, you gotta do this. Like blah 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 blah. Like remember when he's getting dragged away? He's like save me, save Santa.
Oh boy, don't I remember that.
I'm done. I know I went off. I'll leave it to that 2-minute rant.
So I said you were gonna say something a while ago, Josh, and then you got cut.
I was just gonna comment that in the Santa Clause 2, there are 2 story arcs. One with Tim Allen and the principal, and that story arc is interesting and it's heartwarming. And
It is heartwarming. That's a good word.
Does it feel like the first one though, like in quality?
I'm gonna say yeah. There's moments where the music is even good in those moments. It's the end of the party scene when he's telling her. Spoiler. By the way. No. When she's asking about how he got all the gifts and that music in the background's playing, it's like really like nice.
Oh yeah.
That reminds me of like the first movie because the first movie was, in my opinion, was like built off the amazing score. That movie's score is incredible. I wish they got the same person back. I don't even know who it was. But
Cheers to that guy.
Cheers to that guy.
Cheers to that guy. Yeah.
Well, the who said that they watched it with our dad?
I did.
What did your dad say again?
Yeah, it was at the beginning of the movie. I think it was the first scene with the principal, and it was the first time my dad had ever seen it before, but he saw the principal, and like just like the vibe he was getting from the scene, he like looked at me, he was like, "She's gonna be Mrs. Claus, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah."
That's so funny. Classic Real.
So basically,
he has a bad taste in movies, though.
We're watching it, and I'm like, this looks awful. It looks like a backdrop. Like, are the actors like, hey, this isn't, we were all in the first movie. We know this isn't filmed the same way. This is a backdrop. And they're like,
almost double the budget, by the way.
Huh?
Almost double the budget, by the way.
Yeah,
triple the budget. Almost triple.
It was probably triple the budget. It was probably to pay Tim Allen to come back. I don't know. But
Tim Allen making $20 million a movie for Santa Claus.
Yeah. But and they're like, no, it gets better like when it's not in the North Pole. It's not in the North Pole. And I was in the living room for like 20 minutes. I'm like, this is the North Pole of the movie.
Yeah, you gotta watch at least half of it to get to the good stuff.
You gotta get past that.
So what I'm saying is, it's like an 80% horrible movie, 20% decent.
70-30.
I find it charming.
I don't recall seeing anything decent.
It's 70-30. The thing is, the good stuff comes in the latter half, so it's forgivable. If the whole movie started off good and got really terrible, you'd remember the terrible. When I watch it, I'm like, God, this movie's terrible. And then it gets better. I'm like, oh, it's all of a sudden getting a little better. And by the time it ends, I'm like, yeah, that was not a great ending. But you remember that good part like a half hour ago?
What's the plot? So you got the storyline with Santa Claus
that is plot.
Needing to get married?
That's the plot.
Why?
Because it's the Mrs. Claus.
It's you see, a clause, John.
Yeah, like the last sentence in a contract.
Got that.
Last sentence in a contract.
That's not what a clause is.
That's what they say in the first Santa Claus. That's what they say it is.
That's the example given in the movie.
Yeah, I just go by what the movies tell me.
The last
Bernard goes,
sentence.
a clause, like the last sentence of a contract, and he goes, I know what a clause is.
Is that a clause? I don't know.
No, a clause is just a part of a like an agreement or a contract.
Right.
Well, in the Santa Claus, it's the last sentence.
Oh, maybe like the last sentence would be like, I agree to the to the previous or whatever, the above.
Josh, you an
right
English
before
teacher, you were a lawyer.
The first.
Okay. Then leave it up to the non-lawyers to tell you what a clause is.
Thank you. I forgot where I was going with this.
So in a clause.
The Mrs. Claus.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he needs to.
that was where you were going.
Explain? Because I've seen some of this.
He
movie.
has until midnight on Christmas Eve.
Why?
Which would technically be Christmas
because
Day.
that's in the clause.
It's in the clause. For the convenience of the movie.
There is no good reason.
However much time has passed was the limit.
Hold on. And if I remember right, I saw the scene where they were looking, and then they like put. Is there like even finer print?
Yeah.
That he never read in the first movie?
You would think Bernard, who's over 1,000 years old, would have read that for the last Santa,
That's
too.
so lazy. Yeah, I know.
You know, okay, it's a little lazy, but it's not like you have to join this world we're in. You have to join the world we're in, and let me tell you something. The world ain't fair. The world ain't always...
Dude, this guy, like, to defend a shit movie, he's like, world's not perfect.
You know what? For the rest of December, well, yeah, I'm going to call it the rest of December because that's when this is airing. For the rest of December, I'm going to call John and just use quotes from Santa Claus. So I'm going to be like, hey, John, I'm on my way. You won't believe the traffic out here.
That's a really funny idea. I think you should do that.
I am going to do it. And John's going to be like, I don't get it.
I know the Santa Claus.
You won't know.
Now, though, I definitely concur that there are many, many problems with the movie. I find it charming.
There's moments, but it's so excruciatingly bad in some of the moments that aren't good that it's hard to even like when
yes.
What you agree, right? When there's a moment when Bernard, this is the moment I was talking about, when Bernard, the serious character from the first movie, goes, he's not Santa. His face is plastic and his tushy is rubber.
Yeah, I
His
saw that.
tushy is rubber is a line Bernard, the guy that says, "Boy, this bird is dry."
So the Santa Claus has to clone himself. So he makes a robot version of himself.
It's a toy.
Would you clone yourself?
Toy? No, I wouldn't clone myself.
Would you clone yourself?
If I kept my consciousness and lived forever, yes.
Stupid answer. Would you clone yourself?
Yes.
Why? You get why.
Share secrets.
Perfect answer. John, continue.
Oh my god.
He makes a toy. Why?
There's no good reason, but if you want to know what they say, it's because they're trying to make it so Santa doesn't look like he's leaving. There's no good reason.
Okay, there's no good reason.
It's
There's no
coming
good reason.
close to Christmas. Santa needs to be at the North Pole.
Why?
John, you know pitch meetings?
Yeah.
So why? Because.
Okay. So no, but
The world ain't fair.
The world ain't fair.
the world ain't perfect. So is it set on?
What is it, a bug?
What are you talking about? Is it on?
No, like the screen is black. Is it? That's
Yeah,
normal?
John. Yeah.
I'm just asking.
It's on.
It'd be bad if it wasn't
It'd be mighty awful if
If it wasn't on... God.
How much do you edit out of this?
None.
Fucking
Nothing.
Listen. It's on.
Okay.
If it wasn't on, I wouldn't be able to
Nothing.
hear us
Who
and I
edits
hear
this,
us.
Andrew?
Nothing. There's no edits. This baby goes up just like everything I'm saying right now is the future. Everything I say will be in
So
this video.
So if you decide to say something,
Make it worthwhile.
make it worthwhile.
I edit it.
He's got stage fright now. You don't edit nothing. There is no editing. You know what he does? He puts a fade in the beginning and a fade out at the end.
No, not true. I edit it.
No, you don't cut anything.
No, I don't usually cut anything because
Well,
it's usually all good.
The other episode, you edited some check marks above our heads.
You know which one you should have edited? The 2.5 hour one.
No, man, I thought it was all pretty good.
I thought it was pretty good. I actually listened to that
It's
full
just
one.
extra content for the fans.
Yeah. So that's just the way it goes. That's the way it goes. The world ain't perfect. Just like Santa Claus 2, baby.
World ain't perfect.
Who edited that? Am I right?
Who?
If I edited it, there'd be no North Pole scenes.
Let me tell you, but
The movie would start and end within a half hour.
yeah.
So let me ask.
He'd be like, I need to get married. Boom. into the real world.
So let me ask though. So regardless of the reasoning why he makes a toy of himself, basically the movie doesn't need to exist. They're like, hey, you should
To
get
sell
this Mrs.
toys.
Claus, which causes questions that I guess come up in the Santa Clauses, like why didn't the elves mourn Santa that fell off of Scott Calvin's roof, and was that Santa married?
Yeah, I mean, we've obviously, as people who have watched the movies, I've heard so many people, we've asked these questions, we've seen online people ask these questions. By the time this airs, if you haven't seen the first 2 episodes, that's your fault. I don't blame you. Like, no spoiler alert for you.
It's not that great. You can skip it.
But I mean, they do say it, and I thought it was a pretty nice kind of like gag thrown in there where Santa wants to retire, and he goes to say it and he stops. He's like, they're like, why are you stopping? He's like, well, he's like, when the first Santa fell off the roof and I came back, everyone was celebrating. He's like, are they going to celebrate when I'm gone too?
Right.
And it was, you think back, and I'm glad they threw that in there because they are just like celebrating and they're all smiling. They're like, oh, new Santa, but waiting for this guy to kick the bucket.
What do you say?
Is the Santa Clauses a sequel to the Tim Allen movies?
I have no idea.
Were you not here when we popped it in earlier?
No, he came later.
It was when I first got here. It was on the TV.
Yeah, it's Tim Allen's in it. It's clearly a sequel.
Oh, really?
Oh, I didn't know.
Maybe you can tell it's him because he was older now.
Well, yeah, but
obviously,
it could have been an in-between as well.
Yeah, no, it takes place after the last one, but obviously it's been 15 years since the last one.
I just saw Aziz
In between?
Ansari.
Yeah.
2006 was the last.
When would it be in between?
It's not Aziz.
What would it be in between?
It's not Aziz.
I don't know.
But that was
saw it.
2006, so 16 years ago.
Then don't
16
say things, John.
years ago was the
Could've
last
been.
Santa Claus movie.
In between
Isn't that
what?
wild?
With Jack
First and the
Frost.
second?
Yeah,
Embarrassing.
2006.
You're lucky they didn't hear that.
Yeah.
The first Santa Claus was 1994, I want to say. So that would have been, if I'm right on the date, 28 years ago.
Your math is spot on.
I know the math's right. I'm usually good with dates. I'm pretty sure it's 1994. It was 94, 2002, and 2006.
Could have been an in-between though.
It's not an in-between.
I don't think it was that crazy of me to say that. And by the way, 2 convos were just going on.
I know. I was
At the
listening to
same
yours while I was
time.
talking to him.
Extra contact. Extra contact. Content. Roll back the tapes.
Look, the problem with the Santa Claus
I
sequels.
might have to edit this one.
No, you don't have to. Edit. The problem with the Santa.
He's like, "Nah, John, you know."
The problem with the Santa Claus sequels is the same problem with most sequels that try to do it belated. Same thing we talked about with Hocus Pocus. I think we talked about it with Hocus Pocus on here. Is they don't remember what made the original movie special. You kind of said it in the beginning, right? So the first movie is not like this all-out comedy.
So
It's like this serious film. I won't say drama, but it's a serious film
Yeah.
with like these comedic elements sprinkled in. Like the movie is a great plot point with a serious storyline that actually hits a lot of questions.
Yeah, like broken
Broken family. Like, is he crazy in the beginning? Like, you don't know until like a little bit in if he's
Right,
actually
was it
crazy.
a dream?
Like,
Was,
Yeah.
you know,
There's so many moments. The music's really dramatic. It's all very slow and stuff like that. There's like he's losing his family. They're already a broken family. Then he's losing his son halfway through because of the whole thing. Like it's a wildly like film with like very heartstrings pulled.
Yeah.
The ending is very. There's no comedy at the end. The whole ending is literally just like that music and all the like everyone crying and being like, "You really are Santa." And then they make a sequel, and it's a slapstick comedy for kids.
with this horrible CGI Easter bunny, and
Yeah, it didn't have to.
You're taking 1 second of the film.
No, but he's right. The Easter Bunny's
That's a
terrible.
scene.
That whole scene's
It's half
terrible.
the movie, Andrew.
Yeah.
There are 2 story arcs, and one of them is awful.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
And
I'm
you
just
know
saying
why?
The Easter Bunny only shows up.
You know why?
once in the movie.
You know why?
You are disagreeing with us, because on December 24th, or whenever you watch this movie, you're going to be... We're all going to be watching Home Alone, and you're going to be finger popping to the Santa Claus 2.
21 Jump Street. we were finger popping that.
So,
Oh my god, I lost. That was so funny.
So
Wait, no. Before you say, I'll stop.
I
after
got
this.
some roasting to do.
I know. I'll stop after this. So now I lost it. I don't even know anymore.
he's like, Andrew, don't talk. Andrew, don't talk. I got something to say. I don't know what to say.
Hold on, no, I had something to do with the Santa Claus, and I literally don't.
Well,
even
I'm not gonna wait for you to figure it out.
I don't
I'm
know
just saying-
anymore. I don't know.
So this is really
I don't
like
know.
Andrew needs to defend the movie
All right.
because we all don't like it.
Defend your
And
crap,
to
Andrew.
Josh's comment, not the finger popping comment, but the other comment about one storyline. There are two storylines. One of them is awful, and the one that's awful is the one that happens way more often.
I'm not disagreeing with you. To say otherwise is incorrect.
Can I just ask? As
John just spent 20 minutes saying, "Let Andrew speak."
As-
Let Andrew speak for 4 seconds, and then he goes, "Can I just interrupt real quick?"
Everybody stop interrupting Andrew. Go on, Andrew.
As a
Hold on.
As a spectator, what are the two storylines? One is to get.
You see, we said it 3 times here, and you've seen the movie.
No, one is Mrs. Claus.
Yes.
What's the other one?
Toy Santa.
That's
North
not a
Pole.
storyline.
North Pole. Oh, thank you. You reminded me of what I wanted to say.
What's the second storyline?
North
John, those are the two
The
storylines.
toy Santa is so that he can go off and get a wife.
Yes.
Well,
So
obviously the two storylines they weave together.
Basically,
at
the
end.
North Pole.
what I wanted to say that I just remembered
But there are
was
2 things happening throughout the movie because Tim Allen is not at the North Pole for most of the movie.
Right.
He's at the North Pole at the beginning, and he goes back at the end.
yes.
But toy Tim Allen, North Pole.
But and what he just said too also goes with my point. So what I wanted to say earlier, exactly what he said. The first Santa Claus movie barely takes place in the North Pole,
Right.
and that's the problem.
And it's effective because you think of is it a dream? It was what basically.
Well, yeah, but
one
then
long scene.
even when he goes back at the end, it's literally one song of ZZ Top, and then they're back in the world. Like they don't do the North Pole a lot there. They do the one couple, probably like I'd say probably almost like
Maybe
10
because
minutes.
The first
10
one
minutes
didn't have
scene,
the budget for the
and then
North
another
Pole.
10 minutes at the end. So about 20 minutes of 2 hours is the North Pole. The second movie
Maybe because
is
they had
like,
more budget, so they're like, oh, we can spend more time in the North
That's
Pole.
what it was.
It
The
looks
second
like
movie is like an hour and 10 minutes in the North Pole.
Josh. No. Josh.
Yeah.
To say I'm disagreeing with you is incorrect. All I was saying,
ignorant.
it was very ignorant of you.
Why'd you say it?
The only thing I was saying was the comment to John's thing about the Easter Bunny. You see him for one scene, and in that one scene, you only see him for 25 seconds generously.
That scene is so bad.
Why are
That
they
it's-
there?
I'm not disagreeing with you
But
guys.
it's so bad that even when you get to the good stuff at the end, you're like, remember that scene with the Easter Bunny?
Why are they there?
There's no good reason.
The Tooth Fairy comes into play later. So they
Really?
He
yeah.
does, yeah.
It's
Twice.
kind of an integral part of the.
You
the
would
Tim
know.
Allen.
I
You
think
would
that's why
know
they're
if
there.
you weren't cleaning while you were watching.
Excuse me for cleaning.
John, they're there.
Get out of here with your bullshit like that.
John, they're there so that he can come back later. Because they were writing the script and like, we need to somehow get these people back to the North Pole. You know what? The Tooth Fairy. Yeah, but he's not in the movie. We'll fix that. We'll throw him in the beginning.
You know Charlie's tooth? Yeah, no. Not no more.
Not no more. Come back.
Then they're like, hey, we have all these characters, but we really didn't have Jack Frost. Let's put him in the third one. And we can talk about that later.
Oh my
but
God, he was so bad.
awful. But okay,
Martin
so,
Short, we
I
talked about you before with.
I have a
what's
love-hate
that movie?
relationship with Martin Short.
What's the movie we like? Simple Wish. Simple Wish. Shut.
So I think he's.
But hold on.
He's a gifted comedian. He just chooses bad movies or bad.
Well, he doesn't always choose bad movies. Andrew, what's this from? 'Tis a far, far better thing that I do now.
What's it from?
Just said it.
It is from Simple Wish.
The two people in the world who've seen that movie are sitting in this room.
Okay.
Andrew,
What?
continue.
How's your wine, Josh? Just
I
staring
forgot what
at
I
it,
was saying.
staring into the abyss.
Of the one.
He's like,
Okay, but by the way,
You-
I have wine glasses, but we
Is Josh
used them
in
all
the?
earlier.
Is Josh in the frame?
Yes.
All right,
We
cool.
made sure. Why is everyone so curious about the technical issues now? We're in the middle of the podcast, guys. This was all figured out before we started.
It looks like we're on
It
a
would
ride.
be quite a shame if something had gone wrong.
It would have been.
Can you hear me okay?
No, not when you just did that.
is this going well?
This is going good.
No,
Good, yeah.
no, it's not going well. It's not. Thanks for asking.
That's Andrew's character
It's
on
not.
the podcast. So just
What is this nonsense? Mike, I think you've all drank a little bit too much today.
I've definitely drank too much.
What is that?
This is my seltzer.
Since when do you drink seltzer on the podcast?
Since today, I drank a little a couple weeks ago.
He's not drinking his whiskey on the podcast.
Listen,
What's happening today?
I'm crying. I'm laughing. It's too dark. Late. I don't know.
it's okay. Finish your thought on Santa Clause 2, please, and I want to know how it ends.
I want to talk about the lazy eye.
Okay. I feel bad talking about that on here.
I don't. I don't, so I will. Listen. What's her name?
I don't want to talk about it. It's Elizabeth Mitchell.
Do you know Elizabeth Mitchell?
Elizabeth Mitchell.
I'm not even positive that's her last name, but I'm like 92% sure.
Okay.
You checking it for me?
Liz.
Yeah.
Her name's definitely Elizabeth.
Liz.
It's Elizabeth Mitchell. I'm pretty positive. Yeah, her friends call her Liz. Or Beth.
Beth. Your lazy eye is very apparent. Not that it's a bad thing.
I think she's beautiful.
You're beautiful.
Yeah.
I wonder, is it hereditary? Do you have kids?
Right.
Shout out in the comments.
Is that right?
Give me a second.
He pulled it up. Was like scrolling through.
And
pictures
you
of her.
say I'm bad at Googling things.
Well, it's been a second.
I could do it in 3 seconds here.
I can do it in 2 seconds.
So, is it Elizabeth Mitchell?
Damn straight it is.
Did you look up lazy?
Why did you search that? Yeah, that was nice.
Why did you search?
Very
All right.
nice.
Moving on.
Tim Allen. Oh! I remember this scene because this is one of the non-North Pole scenes that I did see, and it's with the woman, the principal.
Oh,
Yes.
Molly Shannon.
Yeah. No.
That scene.
Elizabeth Mitchell.
No, the
Oh,
the woman who ends up being Mrs. Claus. Who's that?
Elizabeth Mitchell. Her name's Carol.
Oh, okay.
friends
so-
call her Beth.
So Elizabeth. Oh, I didn't know who we were talking about. So Beth. So he's with Beth, and then he says, like, everything's going fine, and then he's like, and I guess like you said, he's like all smooth and stuff with her or whatever, and then in one scene he's like, I'm Santa Claus. The North Pole is real. The suit's real. I deliver presents to children. And then she kicks him out.
That was a rough scene.
Funny because it's like up till then nothing has really come up about that. Am I wrong?
Well, she.
You're not wrong.
No. She has never thought that he's been. She's noticed very unexplainable things, but she's just ignored them. So when he does, like, you came in and out of that scene. I'm not. You know, that's I actually really like that scene. I know it's kind of dumb the way he does it.
Great
where
scene.
He's like, he could have said it a lot better than being like, "Hey, I'm Santa," but what he says is like, "Hey, you know, like all those unexplainable things." She's like, "Yeah, you know how it felt like magic." She's like, "Yeah." He's like, "It's because it is magic." That's the line you missed, and that was a good line. And she's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "I don't think she's what you're talking about." But she's like, "What?" And he's like, "I'm Santa."
He went all in with it. It's like, I'm Santa.
The
I
reason
deliver
she
the
gets
presents.
the reason she gets
the North Pole.
but the reason she gets offended is not legit.
Yeah, she had just spilled her heart about something.
And what you missed was the thing she spilled her heart about was how much Christmas meant to her as a kid because her dad would go all out to make her believe that Santa was real for so long. She believed for a long time because her dad would like nibble the carrots and like eat the cookies and like make like soot prints out of, like, he would go all out. So she's telling him the story about how much it meant to her as a kid because of her dad, and she thinks he's mocking him when he tells her he's like, she would probably believe if he was like, I'm a wizard,
Josh.
she probably would have been like, that would make sense. I think the Santa thing is like she feels like he's mocking her.
Josh, do you support?
Does it make sense? I don't know, but I get in the context
I buy it.
of the fictional
I buy it.
universe. Yeah.
Josh, do you support the way Tim Allen went about doing that?
Yes.
It's like this interview.
Yes.
I think if I was him, I would have been like, "Hey, you know how everything felt like magic? Come take a ride with me real quick." And then I would have taken her
There's
in the
only
sled.
one way
Hold
to
on.
tell somebody you're Santa.
And that's just to be upfront and bold
Just
with
to
it.
go all
Tim
out.
Allen is the first person ever.
Have to say.
So, Paul, I'm
Yeah.
Beth. You're Tim Allen.
Okay. I know when you said Beth, I was confused for a minute. I got it.
Oh, that was so nice. What with the Secret Santa and whatnot?
Yeah, Beth. You know how it all seemed like magic.
Yes.
Wait, am I doing my way or his way?
Your way.
Oh, okay. You know how it all seemed like magic?
Yeah.
That's because it is magic. No, here. Let me show
silly
you.
man.
Let me show you. See this watch I have?
What a silly
What does
man.
the watch do?
See this watch I have? See how it says 4? Watch this. Snow. Now it says 3.
I think it was out of magic, though. I don't think you could do that.
He was like
Actually,
at-
yeah,
he was like
he
at
was
2.
out. He did say he was out.
at
But
2.
then
So
so the snow globe that he showed her later wasn't even as cool as the one in the first one.
It wasn't as
So
cool,
then
yeah.
your theory is flawed.
Yeah, I forgot about
What
that.
else would you... So, I enjoyed a cup of noodles that we had.
You know what, Carol? Come with me. I've got a reindeer I'd love to show you. His name's Comet. And then I'd be like, Comet, fly us back to the pole, please.
That's how you would do it?
Yeah.
A free ticket to the pole?
Also, real quick, there's a big loophole in that film. Bernard goes, I know there's a ton of loopholes, but there's one really big one. Bernard's like, Santa, don't let the magic get down to 0. And it's so serious. It's the one serious moment with Bernard. If it's 0, you can never come back. And he says it like that. But then later on, he's at 0, and someone goes, I think it's freaking Spencer Breslin's character. I hate that guy.
Spencer.
He's like, Santa, don't you have Comet? Can't Comet just fly you back? Because it's like, oh, I'm out of magic. They're like, yeah, well, Comet can fly you back. So in the whole beginning, why wasn't Bernard like, hey, don't let it get down to 0, but if it does, you've got Comet. So make sure Comet doesn't eat all the candy and gain so much weight it can't fly anymore. Because that's what happens, John. Comet eats a bunch of candy, can't fly.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's,
And then I see, like, he gets the... Here you go.
The movie was for a younger audience.
Well,
It
hold
was.
on, it doesn't excuse it.
No, it doesn't excuse it, but he's right. That's why they did it. It was for
Doesn't
young.
excuse it.
Of course it does.
No, it does
As a
not.
lover of movies, I'm shocked that you have said that.
It does not excuse it, and Hocus Pocus 2 is not excused either. Fix it with the third one.
Maybe next Halloween we'll go Hocus Pocus.
We did it on one of the early ones.
How about you shouldn't be watching
We
Hocus
do-
Pocus in the first
Hocus
place?
Pocus 2 hadn't come out when we were in that.
Well, spoiler, it sucks. I mean, it's like a 42 out of 100. It's not terrible.
So a 4 out of 10.
It's a failing grade. It failed. Yeah.
So,
But it's no cop out.
so
with
he gets
Bruce
his
Willis.
wife. He gets the wife. What makes her come around?
He goes...
because she sees the tooth fairy. No, it's the
Really?
well, no, it's because
She sees a snow globe.
it's a snow globe.
Charlie
right,
shows her the snow globe, which is not as good as in the first one, by the way.
And then Charlie brings her back with the tooth fairy flies her back, holding on nice and firmly.
Yeah.
Yeah. The snow globe in the first movie, you could see Tim Allen in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, you see
And if
like
I saw that, I'd be like, oh my god, this is crazy.
Yeah.
But the snow globe in the second movie just kind of like lights up. And like, if I saw that, I would have been like, "Whoa, that's pretty."
You
cool.
know what would have been great? You know what would have been great? If you see the light up and then you see Charlie holding a flashlight behind her, like,
Yeah.
That would have been great.
Oh yeah, let's talk about like the kid from the first one is like graffitiing and all that.
I think he does
wasn't
great
in
in the
the
second
movie
one.
His
at
name
all.
is Charlie, John.
Yeah.
Charlie.
I think he does a good job. I have
Yeah,
no.
I wish he wasn't in the movie either.
Eric Lloyd. I actually have no issues. I think he does a great job as a kid actor doing an adult or teenage part in the second movie. I think he does great in it. I actually enjoy him in the Santa Claus as well. He's got like a 5-minute cameo in it, but I think he does a great job.
I think it would have been nice if like he was at college and he wasn't in the movie.
That's the third one. Yeah, he's in the third movie for like 2 scenes.
We'll get there.
Is he still angsty?
No, he's more collegey. He's more like, I don't need this.
See,
He's like, I just need a real estate
not every
license.
kid needs to be like this angsty teen. I think that was an obvious cheap way to go.
He wasn't really angsty. He was mad that this principal that he didn't get along with was dating his dad.
How to define
Well,
angsty?
no. He was angsty. He was angsty because
Oh, like because he was angsty because he never got to see his dad, so he was graffitiing. Yeah.
he was graffitiing,
But
and
why wasn't he able to see his dad if at the end of the first one things were better?
He just didn't see his dad a lot.
John, that's how life goes.
Yeah.
You know, life goes on. He gets busy. So does Charlie. Progresses in school and whatnot. You know, these things naturally happen.
John, you become
The
Santa.
dad.
Now pretend that I'm Scott Calvin and you're Charlie. All right. Hey, top of the morning to you.
Hi, Dad. Where you been?
That's all you got.
He's got nothing.
No, I got a better one for you, John. Imagine that you're Santa Claus, right?
Yeah.
And I'm your son.
Okay, this I can get into.
You're Santa Claus, and I'm your son, and I'm a little annoying. Like like I complain about wanting to be Santa all the time. How often you really realistically come back to visit? You've got stuff to do, right? You got toys to make. You can see me like once every
Santa doesn't make toys.
once every December maybe.
What does
Santa,
Santa do?
he facilitates the making of
He
toys.
facilitates, but he gets down and dirty.
He's an ops manager.
He's an ops manager, and he helps. He in the Santa Clauses, they say that he likes to get down and dirty, get his hands in
He
the
does
toys
like to
and
get. He
whatnot.
likes to play with the tammers.
Yeah,
So
play with the hammers.
he's in the North Pole all year.
Yes.
That's his.
In
That's
the
his
first
yes.
movie, when he realized he was becoming Santa, and he was at home, and Bernard said, "We'll send you the list around Thanksgiving, or we'll send you the list and whatever, and you'll be back here by Thanksgiving." What changed?
Nope. I have the answer to that.
More like
Okay.
That's a one time. So he joined the clause. Part of the Santa Claus is he gets to tie up his affairs. So Bernard specifically says, I don't know the exact verbiage of it, but he says you have this time to tie up your affairs. We'll send you the list. You're due back by Thanksgiving, and then that's when his contract basically starts. So by the time Thanksgiving hits, it's actually really. It took me forever, and I don't know if I'm just really bad at this, but it took me forever to realize that movie goes through so many months in a very quick time frame. So it goes from like January to September in 4 scenes.
you want to talk about a plot hole. I bet Scott Calvin didn't pay his taxes that year.
Yeah.
Where's the IRS?
Dude, yeah, what happens? Does he just like is he dead? You know what I mean? Like that's the question I'd like to know. In the terms of the government, is he no longer a living?
I'd love to know that.
Did Scott Calvin did they have a funeral? Did he cease to exist?
I doubt they had a funeral because his family knows he's alive.
Yeah, just for show though. Like
Yeah.
Well, no, he goes on dates and whatnot.
later, that's years.
He
That's 8
probably
years later.
pays his taxes. I don't know why you asked that.
He pays his teas?
Probably.
Doubt it.
Does he dot his eyes?
Does he?
Does he dot his eye, pay his teeth?
Are his eyes perpendicular?
You know, let's move on.
Actually, I used the right word, right? That means they're right next to each other. I know his eyes are perpendicular.
Is that what that means?
Yes.
Beth, man, those eyes.
It's kind of like a geometry term. They go
Yeah.
in the same direction. They never.
They'll
intersect.
never meet.
I know 2
They'll
eyes that
never
don't go in the same direction.
Beth,
Beth.
come on now.
I lied.
So, how? I've never seen the third movie.
Yeah. Usually I would say give it a shot, but don't waste your time.
You're not missing much.
Perpendicular, they do intersect.
Okay.
Parallel.
They don't.
Parallel.
Bunch of dumb.
So-
This guy's an English teacher and he told us the wrong
So Beth's
information.
sides are perpendicular. So they do intersect.
They don't actually. They go.
Often.
What's it called when they shoot out opposite ways?
Parabola?
I don't know.
No, a parabola is
Are you
like
talking about like a wide
question.
angle? Like obtuse?
like this.
Obtuse.
Parabola is like a U shape.
Those eyes are obtuse.
Oh,
You gotta take a picture with my toilet seat, by the way.
You didn't take it yet?
Not yet. No, it's due Monday.
Get that. Dude, why are you
Due
here?
Monday for what? For school?
You know.
You have like a toilet picture due for school?
Yep. I'm the rebellious type.
My God.
I'll nail it.
So, third movie, trash?
There's almost no redeeming elements to it. So whereas the second movie, it's like, hey, everything in the North Pole is terrible, but there's like all these great moments with the love story, like literally great. I'm not even afraid to say good. Great moments with the love story. The third one is like a slapstick comedy with Martin Short, and there's like one scene where he's like normal Scott Calvin, and it just
Anything good on Facebook, Joe?
None of it works. None of it works. The whole movie's just trash. The funny part was Tim Allen recently came out and he's like, "Yeah, I think the movie wasn't good because I didn't have enough scenes with Martin Short, and I didn't have the heart to be like, that's not what it was, buddy. It's not what it was."
Yeah.
That's like her head on someone else's body.
Yeah, that's not real.
And I know whose body that is too.
But thanks for
Okay.
sharing.
So, I gather the plot in the third one is...
Jack Frost was getting in trouble,
Couldn't tell
so
you.
it's
Couldn't tell you.
it's Carol's having a baby. They're having their first kid, Buddy, who they eventually rename
Santa.
Cal.
Oh.
And then
Terrible name.
then Jack Frost is causing trouble, and then also Carol's parents, so Scott's parents-in-law, are coming to the North Pole, who think that it's Canada. It's like this. The movie's so bad,
Wow.
and then they have like that meeting with like the Easter Bunny and all them again, and he's like, "Oh,
They're
I'll
back. They're
I'll
back.
take Jack. Yeah, they're back. He's
Yeah,
like, I'll take Jack Frost. He can help out at the North Pole." And then Jack Frost finds the escape clause, which means that if Santa holds on to this special snow globe and says, "I wish I was never Santa" or something like that, then he can not be Santa ever again. His life would go on as if it never happened. But it just becomes dumb. They make the plot seem like if he had never become Santa, he would have become this corporate person who like never saw his family. But that's not the way the movie was going in the first one. Like,
He is kind of like that when he is Santa.
yeah, exactly. He doesn't see his family when he is Santa.
He just new family and whatnot. But here's this too: Martin Short, over the top, not a fan favorite. He doesn't even redeem the movie.
I
Martin
wouldn't
Short fan.
expect him to, and I have no interest in seeing the third one, and I had no interest in seeing the second one. It was just on today.
The second one's
It's a quality movie.
it's a once a year watch. The first Santa Claus is you should watch it. If I was giving you like the realistic, between November 1st to December 25th, 4 times is like the normal minimum, the min. You know what I mean? You go above it, that's cool. I like to go, but 4 times because you got to remember you're gonna watch it twice on Christmas usually, twice in a row. So that's 2 right there.
I have no time.
At least once in November, maybe twice.
Where you guys get the time?
Where are you getting this time?
What else are you doing on Christmas night? Going to the theaters to see Les Mis? No, that was me in 2012.
That was 10 years ago.
Oh,
Were you not getting the time?
just being a dad.
Cheap excuse. That's his excuse.
Yeah.
Cheap.
Before he had a kitty, it was because he was married.
And before he was married, it was because he was single. It's so funny. We're all laughing.
So I think we all agree the first one's great by far, the best by far.
Oh God, it's an incredible film.
Scott Calvin knocks Santa Claus off his roof. He becomes Santa Claus through the clause that if he puts on the suit, he is now accepting that. And then we hinted that he's already in a broken family. His ex-wife is dating somebody named Neil. Best character.
Judge Reinhold.
Best character in the movie. And
Well, aside from Bernard.
he's a psychologist, a psychiatrist, and some funny jokes with that. He wanted a wiener whistle, and that's why he doesn't believe in Santa, because he never got it. And when he gets it at the end, it's funny. So I like that character.
I just think it's such a quotable. There's like so many lines you just like to say. The turkey line, remember? He's like when he's got the fire extinguisher. Those flames were really high, Dad. Yeah, turkey's funny like that.
Yeah, I say it all the time.
I do too. That's like a long, big. Oh, apparently he doesn't.
Quotable.
That's like a big thing with me and Joe, because sometimes we'll see fire, and like when we're cooking.
Yeah.
My brother Joe, and Joe will be like, "Flames are real high." I'm like, yeah, turkey's funny like that.
Funny
I saw
family.
that in theaters.
The Santa Claus?
Yeah.
I saw the Santa Claus 2 in theaters.
Ugh.
I know,
Sounds
poor
like an
guy.
awful time.
I didn't
you
see it. I was younger, so John's obviously the eldest of us all. He's the elder mage.
Yeah.
In 1994, I saw The Lion King in theaters,
Yeah, me too.
but I didn't see the Santa Claus in theaters. We didn't get to see the movies a lot. I think that's why I go to the movies so much, because I didn't as a kid. I remember seeing The Lion King, and then my dad took us to all of the Lord of the Rings films. It was like we would make sure me and my two brothers, we all went together for the first 3 Lord of the Rings films. And then as I got older, I'd go to movies, and obviously now I have like AMC A-List. I have AMC A-List, so I go see like at least 2 movies a week most of the time.
You popcorn?
Always popcorn.
Always.
No butter. No extra butter. Obviously, what it's made with is fine. When I was a kid, I used to... That's why I was a big kid. But
He was a big kid.
I was a big kid. But no, I popcorn. Always popcorn. And
the big refillable bucket?
well, yeah, when you're in the A-List, everything you buy is always upgraded automatically. So I just order. I'll be like, oh, let me get the small. They're like, do you want the upgrade? I'm like, yeah.
Pretty soon AMC is going to be like, Paul, you're due to our annual members meeting.
Yeah.
What would you want the Santa Claus for to have a part of it that hasn't been a part of the first 3?
You mean the Santa Clauses?
Sure. Like what
That
is
is
there
for.
something that you're wanting to see?
Well, I'm already not getting it, but I would have liked to see them go back to a less slapsticky and more serious toned film. And I would have liked to see the original theme come back. I can't do the sound because I just don't know how to do it, but it's like
Try.
ding-a-ding-a-ding. You know what I'm talking about? It's like ding-a-ding-a-ding. It had like that weird bell sound. Ding-a-ding-a-ding. It was like the original theme. And I loved it. It was every time something was happening.
No.
Okay, we'll listen to it after. It's like, I can't do it.
We'll listen to it after.
It's like way higher than that, but it's like ding-a-ding-a-ding. Ding-a-ding-a-ding.
Okay.
I can't do it. I've always tried. I can never get that sound.
I know
out.
what you're referring to.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Josh.
So you
Can
want
you do
that
it?
back.
Can you do the sound?
No, it's like sleigh bells.
It's so high. Yeah, it's just hard to do.
Oh, it's like sleigh bells.
Yeah, but it's specific. And then there's like almost like a violin-y sound right after it.
There are sleigh bells, and then there's like a bell melody playing.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's like a beautiful score.
In the first one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
beautiful score.
I believe you.
What scene is this happening in?
Happens in
It happens
all of
throughout
them.
the movie.
It's like throughout the entire film. Anytime he's like in the sleigh, it's usually playing.
Anytime something magical happens, probably.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. Anytime anything magical happens.
Okay, I'll have to...
It definitely had
Watch again.
the first time you hear it is when he's reading when he hears the roof stuff. It plays right there.
You're gonna have to take Paul's word on anything he says about the Santa Claus, considering he watches it a minimum of 4 times a year.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's ridiculous. How often do you watch the third one a year?
I haven't watched that movie since it came out.
Oh, okay. So you watched it one.
I've seen it once. I think I may have watched it. Like it may have been in the background on ABC Family when I had cable and stuff. I don't, now that I don't have cable and I choose what I watch, I don't ever watch it.
Got it.
What are you doing?
Snacks. Looking for snacks.
You know,
There's some in this drawer, I think.
while we were waiting for Josh, I was like, I wonder if it's if
No.
he'll be long enough where I can make a BK run.
Oh,
I ended up not doing it.
it's way too late now. Yeah.
What time is it?
10:57.
It's
It's
never
like
too
ding a
late.
ding a ding.
I think they closed that bitch at one.
So, is there something that you want out of the Santa Clauses? He's like, I'm not gonna watch them.
No, I like the first one, and I'm okay with having one good movie.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I mean, I understand why. I understand like when people see a movie and they really like it, and because they just want more and more of it, so they ask for a sequel.
Yeah.
But I hate the idea of just like wringing a rag out and getting as much money as you can, or just keep going with like a tired storyline.
Don't do that, Paul.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm okay with just having one good story.
Agreed.
We're gonna get like copyright. We're not gonna be able to. Yeah.
Well, it's by Michael Convertino. There we
I
go.
don't give a shit who it's by. Stop playing.
What about you, Andrew?
Great first movie. And you know what?
That one's
Okay. Here's what I was trying to say earlier, that I feel like the point hasn't been crossed here. I don't think... Okay, yeah, if you could... Okay. I don't think that the second movie is necessarily good.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
However, I do enjoy it for what it is more than the rest.
Oh, did you just admit it's not good?
No, he's acknowledging that it is its fault.
Yeah. Well, lots of them.
But I do enjoy it more than the rest of you guys. The third one is complete garbage. I don't even think I finished the whole watch through the first time I saw it. Couldn't tell you how it ends, actually, so I know I didn't.
Okay.
I mean, he's still Santa.
And as far as Santa Clauses go, not a fan. Don't like that at all either.
Okay.
So, first one, great. Masterpiece. Well, kind of. Second one, very good.
You just say you don't.
Well, let's take the very out of it.
Wait a minute.
It's good.
Santa Claus is your first favorite, and you just said it's kind of a masterpiece.
Well, when it comes to cinema, is it a masterpiece? No.
Oh yeah, it's a masterpiece among. Look, we're cinephiles. Like, it's a masterpiece among Christmas films. Like, we're gonna go like top. It probably wouldn't even be. Well, I guess if I'm doing a top 100 movies of all time, it'd be in there. But I don't think it's in the top 100 movies of all time.
I once did a top 50 movies. My personal 50 movies. You learn a lot about yourself because 50 is a lot more than you think. Have you ever actually sat down and done that?
No, I went up to 10.
Here's
to
the
20
thing.
Sometimes.
Here's the thing. You learn a lot about yourself. I suggest you do it. Because here's the thing. 50 is a lot more than you think. And then you start going in your head like, yeah, this is a great movie, but this is my favorite movie in this category.
Yeah.
And if so it has to make top 50, even though I like this movie better than... Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on if you're doing...
He's constricted by his own rules.
Well, it comes down to, is it your are you rating favorite films ever or best films? Which I do think there's a distinction between the two.
That's interesting.
I think there's a distinction between the two. I acknowledge that Citizen Kane is like probably the best film of all time. It's not my favorite film. It's not even in my top 10 films because I don't.
It was good. I don't
emotionally resonate with the film. So my favorite films are films that I emotionally resonate with. When Silver Linings Playbook came out, remember I was all about it. I loved the film. It was like I think I said like it was my favorite film. Well, it wasn't my favorite. I think it was two. I always keep one for Rocky, but I think I was like, oh, it's my second favorite film.
Rocky.
It's my second favorite film of all time. Years went by, and I used to talk about it. I'm like, oh, I really love that film, but it's not in my top 10, right? And then my whole thing happened with my divorce and all that stuff, and that's what the movie's about. And I watched it again during that process, and I emotionally connected to the film. And now, since then, so 2 years now, it's stayed in my top 5 favorite films of all time. Because when I watch that movie, I emotionally resonate with the movie. Yeah. So favorite and best are two different things. Now, I do think Silver Linings, if I was doing a best 100 films, it's definitely in there. It's a great film. But if I was doing a top 10 best films of all time, my list would be way different from top favorite. My top 10 favorite has Scream 2 in it. Like, I love Scream 2. I think it's a great film. But it's not one of the top 10 best films ever made. Like, I understand what, like, creates a great film. You know what I mean? Like, there's things that I watch and I go, man, the cinematography is so great. This is so great. The acting's so great. I don't love this movie. You know what I mean? Like, I can appreciate a great film that I don't love, you know? Yeah. So that's the difference between those two.
All right.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was tossed. I was tossed between. I was in a conundrum.
Yeah, it's two things. You know what I mean? Like your favorite films are gonna be. I mean, look at John's list is a great example of this. John's favorite films probably have some random things in there. I'm sure, like
It's probably like
what's
freaking.
Melody Time's probably in his top.
He likes freaking Saludos Amigos is your favorite.
I just poking fun, John. Just poking fun.
Disney movie.
No, but I feel like you do have one interesting. We've talked about this before. You have an interesting top 10 favorite film. I just can't remember what it was.
Yeah, I'd have to think about it again.
There's something you've said before. I'm like, it's a good film, but for me, I didn't hit me, but it must have meant something more to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to think about it. Yeah.
And that's how we get to our top, Christmas films. When we said our top 3, we all said we all had Santa Claus, but we all said movies, and we all had Home Alone, which is really interesting. But like when I said The Grinch and Josh said The Grinch, I'm not sure his reasons. I'm sure it's similar, but for me, I connected to an emotional part of my life. I know exactly when I watch it, like who I watch it with at certain points. Like I know what that film means to me, and that's why, as much as I probably like Christmas Vacation better as a movie, I think it's like a quality movie. The Grinch is always going to be something I would watch first.
Fair enough. Well, I think I most agree with Josh when I say the first one should be the only one. It doesn't need to be more than that. And I'm not against having more than one, but I think that it's a very special holiday movie, and it ends there.
I'm glad you said that, because I for a second I was gonna butt in, but you said it anyways. I'm not against sequels too. Do it right.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. Look at what makes the movie special. The best example, and I know I'm jumping away from Christmas real quick, but the best example, the easiest example is Pirates of the Caribbean. The first Pirates of the Caribbean was great because it was almost a scary treasure. It was a scary movie. It was like a horror movie almost. It was a ghost story. It was a ghost story, and it was a treasure hunt. And then every subsequent movie, it's like the writers are like, they liked this treasure hunt. Let's make this giant epic adventure about Poseidon and the sea and, Blackbeard. Like, the movie, what a great sequel to Pirates of the Caribbean was? I've watched them all. None of them are bad except for really the fifth one. The fourth one's not great. The first three are decent. Like 2 and 3.
Fourth one's forgettable. But, yeah.
But you know what a great sequel would have been? Finding another just one-off story to go on. Like another adventure that was like, we need to find... You know who does it well? For the first 3 at least, was Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
The first one was about finding the Ark. The second one, honestly, I don't watch Temple of Doom that much, so I've only seen it once, so I'm not for sure. But the third one's about finding the Holy Grail. You know what I mean? It's just another movie that's like, hey, you know what was great about the first Indiana Jones? They were trying to find the Ark. So what are we going to try to find this time? The Holy Grail.
Yeah.
Make the movie the same.
Yeah.
Not the same, like obviously make it new, but the same idea.
Yeah, it doesn't need to go out and you don't need to
what
find
was
the
good
Easter
about
Bunny
it?
and the Tooth Fairy and Batman and all that stuff.
What was good about the Santa Claus? It was a story about a family. It was a story about this. It was this dramatic elements, comedy, blah blah blah. Do it again. The whole idea about needing to find a wife was perfect, but it doesn't have to be like a Claus thing. You know what I mean? Or at least not the way they do it, where it's like, oh, I gotta get married.
Yeah.
There's ways to do a good sequel. Do it right, Hollywood. It's not that difficult. Like, Joe Schmo me from Connecticut shouldn't be able to write a better sequel than you guys. Like, this is just sad in your part.
Yeah, if you take the time, spend the money, make something quality, you'll make the money back.
Yeah.
Dude, you can have more sequels if you make... The more good quality is, the more sequels you can make.
Yeah.
Agreed. So, in closing, I would like to say that the third movie, I don't think I'll ever watch.
Don't need
Second movie, I'm not even interested in watching again. Maybe I'll watch the non-North Pole scenes at some point. Wouldn't, in the Santa Clauses, I was kind of excited for, but it kind of has the vibe of the sequel, so we'll see.
Check it out. Give it a shot.
Yeah. So I wouldn't really cheers to those movies, but for the first one, good sir. Well, cheers.
Cheers.
I'm out.
Hold on. I'm out.
I'm not. Thanks for watching our Christmas edition.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. And a Happy New Year.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.